IRS Special Agent Joseph Ziegler, who's been on the show before. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. So you were here on the lead back on July 20th. That's the day after you and Gary Shapley testified before the House Oversight Committee. This week, Hunter Biden and his attorneys filed a lawsuit against the IRS claiming that the IRS improperly released Hunter Biden's confidential tax information. And the lawsuit mentions you by name and says, quote, in a July 20th, 2023 interview with Jake Tapper of CNN, Mr. Ziegler alleged for the first time publicly that he had recommended felony and misdemeanor charges for Mr. Biden for tax year 2017. Let's roll that part of the interview. Do you know of criminal charges against Hunter Biden that were not filed, that definitively there is evidence, proof that they should be filed, that he should be facing justice for?
So again, meeting with the assigned attorneys, and that included Department of Justice tax attorneys, all agreed for felony and misdemeanor tax charges related to 2017, 2018, and 2019. I didn't see that in the charging document that was filed in Delaware.
So I want to give you an opportunity to respond to something that Hunter Biden's lawsuit says. They say that under oath you had previously stated that you only recommended misdemeanor charges for Mr. Biden for tax year 2017, not, as you told me on my show, related to 2017, 2018, and 2019. So help us clear that up.
So Jake, I really appreciate you for having me on the show. So this lawsuit that was filed yesterday, this is an effort to silence me and Gary. This is an effort to silence future whistleblowers from coming forward. This is an effort to silence IRS people from coming forward to Congress. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing and it's disheartening. And what I would point everyone to is we followed the law. We followed the whistleblower law. Congress wrote into law 6103 provisions, which protects taxpayer information. That law was written by Congress, and they also added a caveat for whistleblowers, 6103 F5. We presented to the House Ways and Means Committee. They voted that out of the committee, and then now that is public information. You can actually find that information on their website. So that was publicly available information. I came on to your show. I discussed information that was within my transcript. And and I stick by what I said in my transcript to the House Ways and Means Committee. Is
that that you recommended misdemeanor charges for tax year 2017 or 2017, 2018, 2019? I'm just trying to clear it up. I'm not trying to get you.
No, I appreciate that. In my testimony to the House Ways and Means Committee, in addition to my testimony in front of the House Oversight Committee, there was a meeting that was held in August of 2022 where the DOJ tax attorneys recommended tax charges for tax years 2017, 2018, and 2019. I'm sorry, they recommended the approval for those charges. Mm-hmm. So essentially it went to the next step of the review process, and that's what I testified in front of the committee.
The lawsuit also says, quote, these agents' putative whistleblower status cannot and does not shield them from their wrongful conduct in making unauthorized public disclosures that are not permitted by the whistleblower process. In fact, a whistleblower is supposed to uncover government misconduct, not the details of that employee's opinion about the alleged wrongdoing of a private person. What's your response to that?
So us being whistleblowers, this is bigger than the Hunter Biden investigation. At the end of the day, we came forward under whistleblower status that the Department of Justice was treating taxpayers differently, that they were providing preferential treatment to a taxpayer. And this is so the actual statute says if there's misconduct related to tax information, we have an avenue where we're allowed to come in front of the committee and testify. We've actually received guidance recently from our commissioner that backs up that information. And then I know another thing that's out there is that people are like, well, why didn't they blow the whistle up in their agency? I wrote an email to my leadership, including the commissioner of the IRS. You know what they did to that email? They told me I potentially broke the law and that I should refrain from ever sending anything outside the chain of command. I mean, if that isn't a blow to any future whistleblower to muzzle them from saying information that you believe is misconduct, then whistleblowers are an important fundamental part of our society.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. Your argument to this second point by the Hunter Biden lawyers is you were not whistleblowing on a private citizen. You were not whistleblowing on Hunter Biden. you were whistleblowing on, in your view, misconduct by the higher ups at DOJ and the IRS that were not treating somebody the way anybody else would be treated. Am I hearing you correctly?
Absolutely. That should concern all of your viewers, that if we have a Department of Justice that is treating one taxpayer differently than another taxpayer, that there is a problem there. And there needs to be mechanisms within Department of Justice that prevent that from happening. I mean, it's just from an apolitical standpoint, we can't have that happening in our government.
Joe Ziegler, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.